Okay, so today we'll look into the data model of parameters, how to create the parameters, and how to set the dependency between the parameters too. Those we will see today. Okay, so we will see the data model, right? Data model parameters with dependency concept. Most important this is okay. Let's navigate to the catalog screen. And so this is a data model in the report we created with the various layouts team. Okay, we created, used eText, the RTF, and the system-based RTF, followed by Excel, followed by the wizard, right? So also have used. So in real time, mostly all these layouts will be used. It depends on the requirement. Okay. Now edit the data model. We'll see more look into the data model side. So there's a parameters and the list of values section too. So click on the parameters, create a parameter. This is p underscore something supplier number, data type, string, integer, boolean, date, float. So however you want, you may use the data type. So for this, so any default value needs to be passed, just hardcode the value here too. So that whenever parameter will be open, right, it should be populate with 000 as a default value. The parameter type, text is a plain text box, menu, date, POV, search is also, right? As of now, used the plain text box, okay? And by default, it's an optional parameter. So if you want to make it right, just enable this checkbox so that it's a mandatory parameter. So this row placement reorder we'll see later. So here the label supplier number 2. This is end user parameter name team. End user will see the parameter with display label. This parameter is nothing but the parameter name, something p underscore supply number be given, right? This is, it need to be passed your SQL statement to filter the data. Okay, so copy the supplier number. Where the supplier number comes from segment 1, right? So segment 1 equals to bind symbol followed by supplier number T. So all the parameters will be present, same as on-premise. There is no change. It's a bind symbol team. Okay. So here the parameter is optional or the mandatory team to be passed the value. Team against is equal. It's a mandatory or optional, which is a p supplier number parameter. Team.
NVL.
Sorry?
NVL, using NVL.
No, I'm asking the question. In this statement, the supply number parameter is a mandatory or optional?
Now it's a mandatory.
No, it's mandatory. At the parameter level, whichever we created right here, here it's optional team. So you need to make it here also optional, so that use NVL followed by like, okay. So similarly, create one more parameter, be site something site parameter. So reorder team, you may reshuffle however wherever you want, the positions. First supply number and next, and add the site as well to our SQL team.
స్టార్ట్ చేశారంట పనులు.
PSS suite dot vendor ID team. Okay, followed by try to get it's a vendor site code. So for this, we'll try to add a parameter team. This is site parameter. So use NVL followed by okay. So this is about two parameters we are passing, which is the supplier number and the site, followed by NVL team, which is an optional parameters. Okay, copy. So this is supplier number and this site team. Click on the view. So when I click on the view, right? So I did not enter any values team. So it's optional, right? So we are getting all the data from your result set. Okay, C team. This is supplier number and this is site. And the data DS within the tree view representation, you may see what are the values you passed for your parameters. For supplier number, this is the parameter name. For the site, this is a parameter name. As of now, it's passed null values team to the SQL. If it is null, NVL will execute your trying to get all the results. Okay, now try to pass supplier number over here. Click on the view. So you are getting two records and the tree view. See, supply number passing 1000160 is a value. It is passing to the SQL. Okay, similarly, site. Add the site name. Click on the view. It is passing this value to the SQL. If data is available, right, you will get the data. Something one if you give, click on the view. Invalid type. So you won't get any data in this combination. So this is about how to use the parameters tip. Now, so as of now, we enter the values as a manual. Now we'll create a list of values. Sorry. So we'll try to create LOVs, the list of values for this, so that we'll try to select the values from that LOV table. So for that, create two LOVs, which is the supplier number and the site. This is something supplier number LOV. Type SQL query or the fixed data type. So SQL is nothing but your table value set. Fixed is nothing but independent values team. Okay, you may practice this. It's easy. SQL query. Select your SQL. Write an SQL statement. How you want to be get the data. Let's start from POZ suppliers. So always use a distinct keyword team to avoid the duplicates whenever you are trying to select a specific column. Okay. Otherwise, if you do not use a distinct column, right? When you are mapping this LOV to the parameter, right? And when the values will be selected to your SQL statement, it will give you an error, invalid parameters requested. Okay, because
Vijay, hello.
yeah.
So here the LOV which we are creating, that is local to this DM, right? It is
Yes. Yes.
we cannot
Yeah.
select from LOV from any other
Yes, no.
Predefined LOV, right?
It's a private to this data model.
Okay, so every time we have to create a new LOV for
Yeah.
any report if we are creating, right?
Yes, yes. This is site LOV. Vendor site code from POJ supplier site suite. So we created two LOVs. Now it's time to map these LOVs to parameters. Select the parameter. Parameter type change from text to menu so that you may see menu related properties here too. Okay, menu related properties. Select the menu. So list of values I would like to be mapped for the supply number LOV. Just save it. Select the site, select the menu, and map to site LOV. Save. Now verify the save here. So it's not reflecting as expected. Just remap, reopen the data model team once. Whenever you map any LOVs, try to reopen the data model so that changes will be affected. So supply number all, site is all team. So these are the LOVs you are getting. Click on the view. So 04 or 11 for this, there is no site data, I guess. So why we are not getting the data team?
Because we are passing site as all, right? It should be null, I believe so.
Should be null, right?
Yes.
See, site is all, but what is the value it is passing to the internal?
Okay, that is null, right?
Null only, right?
Mhm.
Just try to search. This is 10004. It has one site team. You're getting the data. So whichever we selected earlier, right? For that, there is no sites.
Yeah, probably there is no site created for that vendor, right?
So this is the data, something you're getting. So select the all, try to view. See, when you select the all right, see, supply number site is becomes null team. It is passing. When you select the all, ideally it should be pass all value, right team?
Right. Yes.
Ideally, it should be
Even we
pass
did not
all.
select it. Sorry, when we did not select it all in any LOV, right? But is it feature of this fusion,
By
right?
default, it selected all, right?
Yeah.
When you click on the view, it is trying to pass null values to the supplier number. This is a default functionality team. Navigate your parameter. See here. This is your property. When you select all, it will pass internal for the parameter null value or all values passed. When you select the all value passed, right, the parameter should accept only 999 values. 999. If it is exceeds more than 999, right, it will give you an error. So at any cost, do not select all values passed. Always select null values passed. Okay. And the multiple selection here, it may enable checkboxes over there within the parameter. Checkboxes got enabled. Click on the view, you will get the data. Right now. So when I select here tip more than one value, does it accept? Try to get 10023, 10026. Reopen the data model once. It should be open that search box in a different manner. And let's reopen. Yeah, it should be. This is 10004 followed by. So we'll get an error, invalid number of arguments team. Since we selected two values to the parameter, but your SQL query will accept only one value team, which is an equal value, right? So need to be used instead of equals
in
class, right? When you use in class, NVL will not come into picture team. Okay, exclude the NVL. So now it may accept the multiple parameters and you may get the result team. Then how will you get the null values then? When I select the supplier number and the site is all, then how will you get the value stream here? So that for that you need to be used, modify, introduce the OR condition team, or something least of is null. Okay. This is site. So when you select a value from a parameter, this condition will be executed. When you do not select a value, when it is pass a null value, right? This condition will be executed. List of piece of list of null is a null. Null is null, condition is true. So that the underlying SQL statement will be executed, will get all the result. So when you are getting 10004, 10026, let it make it all, click on the view. So you are getting all the data from that SQL followed by the least team. So when you pass your tree view, right? See, sorry, the supply number all and the site is all. So by using our least condition, just trying to execute null is null. It's a 1 equal to 1. So the both conditions, you are getting all the data. So this is about how to create how to create the parameters, list of values, how to use get select all, and how to change to this, how to handle more than one selected value followed by the null values. Any doubts over here? Move on to the next.
Can we do like here, like
Yes, you can,
condition?
right? No issues. Yep. Like,
Just like in the parameter, no percentage required.
no, you may use a percentage with the concat symbol.
Okay.
Just give it a try and let me know if you're not able to get that. Same,
Yeah.
use a like operator followed by parameter followed by the concat symbol. Concat followed by hardcode the percentage symbol.
I'll try.
Vijay, one question here is like this table which you are using POJ suppliers, right?
Yes.
And this table do not have supplier name here. So where, how can we query in Fusion like which table has which columns, particular columns, right?
There is a table. It's the same. For this, there is a view. It has a supplier name. You may
Okay.
go for
We have to
POJ
go to the
suppliers.
documentation in this case, right?
Yeah,
To
POJ
check the
suppliers
column.
V. You may get name. Otherwise, use hedged parties. Pass this party ID to the hedged parties party ID. Get the party name.
To get these details, we have to go to the documentation
Yeah,
probably,
that's
right? It's not.
Web Center content only. Yeah.
Okay.
CPU widget suppliers. So this is the PO widget suppliers, and somewhere you may see the views here again. PO widget suppliers V. So here you get the vendor name. So it's a view, right? The select statement, how Oracle is getting here by using hedged parties only again.
Got it.
team, others, any doubts over here?
Hey, Vijay, when you created the list of value, right, you used distinct, right?
Yes.
So if the field in the table is a unique field, then still you need to use the distinct.
The table
Let's
that
us,
has the unique no issue. See, segment one
okay,
cannot be duplicate, right? So
right, that's right.
yeah, no problem. For that, there is no use to be use the distinct. So why I'm suggesting just blindly use the distinct for all when you're trying to create LOVs. So it's not
Mhm.
possible to remember the primary keys and the foreign keys, right? The columns, whichever we are expecting to get the data.
Mhm.
Because the best practice use a distinct so that you may avoid the errors straight away. So otherwise, you
Oh.
keep on verify your SQL statement within the data set. Why I'm getting invalid parameter requested. You will
Mhm,
not
mhm.
focus on your LOVs, the issue with LOV. You won't get that.
Okay.
You may try to keep on debug your SQL statement for that error.
Okay.
Others team, any questions over here? It's clear to use the parameters followed by the
It's clear,
in-class.
Vijay.
Yeah.
Vijay, generally, what are the complex parts in this data model part? General.
Come across, let's say, okay?
Okay.
Complete all the things. You will get to know that.
And
Up to this.
one question out of this is like in Fusion, does all the table has been added with C or Z or only PO1?
Sorry, all the tables?
Like PO in RTOL, it is PO suppliers, right? AP
Yes, yes.
suppliers are, so here is a POZ. So all
It
the
depends.
tables on
No,
Fusion is
not
added
all
with.
the tables. For suppliers POZ, for requisitions, we have PO requisition headers all right. Here POR, POR requisition headers all 3 letters, followed by the rest of will be same. There is no much change. Egypt here MTL system items B, right? The item table. Here we have EGP system items B. The way couple of has been changed, not much. It's very little, yeah, little bit. Some of the tables got changed as a prefix. Okay. Now, so as of now, we are selecting so-and-so values, right, team here? So we are not sure, right? So-and-so selecting the all and the New York site. And I'm trying to select one of the site supplier number. So null data. Is it right combination for the supplier followed by the site team?
No,
No.
it isn't right.
No. So obviously we are not getting the result. Then it's time to set the dependency between these two parameters is the most important thing. How to set a dependency between two parameters. Okay. The use case, whenever I select so-and-so supplier number, right? So-and-so supplier number, I would like to see the associated sites for that supplier rather than all the sites here. Instead of all the sites, I'm expecting to be see only the selected supplier sites here. The way we need to be set the dependency. For that, first select the parent parameter team. Okay. Step 1, select parent parameter. Select parent. For the parent parameter team, it's a P. Supplier number. Copy. Second step. Pass parent parameter to child parameter LOVT. Child parameter LOV. This is nothing but a dependency team. We need to set the dependency. The dependency. Okay, wherever you want to be set the dependency for that parameter, right? Select that child parameter and pass your parent parameter value to child parameter LOVT. Okay, my child parameter is site, and this is my LOV. Copy the LOVT here. And this is the SQL behind of that child parameter LOV. Now we need to be enhance this LOV statement to accept this supplier number team, the supplier number. Okay. Now use the same here. Try to get same select statement. So vendor side code, right? Sorry. And segment one team. It's a PS start. Segment one equals to our parent parameter team. The parameter presentation always your bind symbol. Okay. Now we enhanced select statement to accept your parent value. Save it. Now, how this select statement will be executed, followed by your parent parameter team. What is the relationship between these two? Right? For that, again, select the parameter, right? There is a property, refresh other parameters on change and save the work team. Enable this property team. Copy. Enable refresh other parameter on change property on parent parameter team. Okay. So what happens at runtime when you select a value from your parent parameter, right? So and so 1, 2, 3. When you select the value, when you click on the movement, the tab thing from a keyboard, when you select, just click on the tab, right? You may moving to the next, right? It will issue this property team, refresh other parameters on change. So the rest of the parameters will try to refresh team. Internally, it will create it's nothing but it's a trigger team internally. By using that trigger, just assume it's a kind of trigger. The other parameters will be refreshed team. While refreshing, the underlying SQL statement will be executed and this value will be passed to be here. This value will be passed to be here and the statement will be executed and you may see the result on your child parameter team. Okay. See, we selected the parent parameter, enable refresh other parameter change and passing this parent parameter to site LOB team. Okay. Now select so-and-so value. Before that, see the site is become null team. It won't show any data. This site LOB will be open based on your parent parameter team. Something this is one of valid value. Click on OK. And when I click on tab team, see. There is no sites. Select 10023. It has website. Reopen the data model. If this is a practice instance, it's not reflecting changes, but in your real-time instance, right? Immediately it may reflect the changes too. No need to be open the data model. Reopen. Now you are getting the site team. So this is nothing but this value is passing to your child parameter LOB and we enable refresh other parameter on change, right? This site parameter will be refreshed team. While refreshing, this value will be passed to your child parameter LOB and you may see the underlying results over here. There are error detail. SQL command not properly entered for the site. So here also, we are selecting the multiples, right team? Use the in. Use in. So for these selected suppliers, we have only couple of sites. Only one site is there. Couple of are there, right? Click on the view. So this is the data we selected for all. So for these selected suppliers, these are the valid sites. Still, if you want any one, right, just check it. This is a valid combination to get the data. So this concept will be used for real time, most of the reports team, the dependency concept. Team, any doubts over here? It's clear for everyone?
Yes, sir. This is clear. Just one question here is in LOB generally, like we have a supplier LOB, right? So
Uh-huh.
in general, what we see, we know the supplier name. So can't we see two field in this LOB?
Two fields we cannot.
Like supplier name and
That will be
supplier number,
available
right?
at ESS job level, not the report level. But you may
Okay.
pass an internal value instead of name, you may pass an ID, same as your table value set. That will see the next.
Okay.
You may pass the two values at display purpose followed by ESS job. However, you're creating the concurrent program right there. So
Right.
here also, if you may create an ESS job, yes, there the facility is available. For a display purpose, you may use more than one column. Other stream, up to here, any doubts, please? Team. Clear for everyone?
Vijay, can you show that link again where there was all the tables information?
This is docs.oracle.com.
Okay, says procurement.
This
All
is
right.
docs.oracle.com. Followed by the application suite our Fusion. So whichever module you want, select the financials if you want. Just navigate here, okay? Within the API and schema, you will get the tables. Okay. Now, the date parameter tip. We'll see how to use the date parameter. So we have creation date over here. Yeah. Let's verify how the date is displaying for a result set. So this is a date representation within the Oracle for any date column. It's a YYY MMDD followed by the hyphen, followed by something T team here, some date timestamp and some time zone as well team. This is the Oracle plus Java. It's a composite date formatting, the dates, not only for all the Fusion application tables, it's not straight away Oracle date format. Okay. Now I would like to be change the format of this team, the format of creation date. Something we may use toChar, right team? toChar followed by DD creation date 1. Let's see how it is display the data. The creation date 1, it's giving the data in a DD, MM, YYY followed by the slash format. But you are expecting which format in here? The MM. It's a MON format, right?
Example,
Not
March,
MM
Jan.
format.
Yeah.
Yeah, something letters we are expecting, alpha, right? So it won't give you the straight away toChar will not be work for the date stream. You need to be passed the additional argument here, which is a default one. NLS date language, which is American. So this is a default one you need to be passed along with the toChar when you're trying to change the desired date format.
Generally in SQL developer, we will make the preference. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you are getting right, Tim? Okay. So you need to be remember this. Now the parameter date. Something p date. Use here data type as a date. Something date. Okay. Set it. So this p date, try to pass to your for creation date. Let's okay. So the creation date, I'm trying to expecting so and so date. Okay. Copy. So this is the date team, the calendar, and so on. So click on OK. Something it's giving the value, it's which is in DD, and YYY formatting. Okay, something DD, YYY format. Just use 2020, try to view the data. You may get the data tip because the supplies creation date is something 2024, right? We used. CD. The date, whichever you're trying to pass any format here, right? When you use any format for a calendar, the last, it will try to supply the value to you, the parameters internal, always in this formatting, which is DD, same as your standard date formatting against your table. No need to perform any conversion functions. Do not use toChar, toDate, and so on. So, in order to change this date format to the left and the right hand side stream, no need to perform any conversion functions here. Whichever date format is there, right? It is trying to convert to your same as your date format so that SQL will be executed, you will get the target result. So if you want to exclude, omit your timestamp, right? So that here use ignore user time zone, save it. And date format string, if you want to be change anything, it's must be Java date formatting. Example, something they given, say DD MM. So it will accept it. So we use MONT, see, invalid date format. So how will he knows that what are the formats it will support it in? So there is an article, Java dates. So I pinged in the chat screen. So these are the date formats it supported. The default date formats all okay. See. Save it. To change, to reflect this change team, even if real time, to reflect this change, always reopen your data model team. The calendar will be shown this date format. When you reopen the data model, the change will not be effect on the data model at the same time. So it is not reflected. Change, no. Something, the given formatting. So to pass a default value, right, you may use this syntax team. So followed by, this is syntax to pass a default system date team, sysdate. It's followed by curly brackets, followed by the dollar symbol, sysdate, and the open brackets team. Okay. So for this, you may use sysdate -1 and so on. So there are n number of date functions you may apply for this sysdate team. You may Google it, you will get that. See. Something -1, so that one date will be deducted, so also. the first day of the month, the last day of the month, and you may use, the subtractions, additions within the state. It's about how to pass a default value, sysdate, for a date parameter. Now, here the date from entuting to restrict your calendar, and a specific dates, use this team. So for that, you may use again the sysdate -10, and so on, so sysdate related. Runtime, you may change the values. Or if you want to be hardcode the calendar right team, to hardcode the calendar, the date, whichever date format string you are providing, right? The same format should be followed for the date from N2. Something 1 followed by 4 followed by 25. Something 10, 4, 25. So I'm restricting my calendar from 1 to 10 only. The rest of will be disabled status. Okay. So reopen the data model again. I'm trying to select 23, 24 within the April month team. There is no movement on this here. It's not selecting. So when I select the third, see, it is trying to select. Click on OK. Okay. So that's about your date parameter. The only way you need to be remember, do not perform any conversions for the 2-day 2-char. I could say most of the resources are using this 2-day 2-char and creating a lot of complexity on this, left and the right hand side followed by the date condition stream within the where clause. No need to perform any conversion functions. However, you are using any date formats, Oracle will try to change the internal as the target date format to YYYMMDD, same as your Fusion application date format. Okay. Now, how to change an internal value team to pass an internal value? So as of now, the supplier number, right? When you select the supplier number LOV, giving an LOV segment to one team, you may use vendor ID. Okay. Let's see. It is passing the vendor IDs for the selected suppliers. The first column, it's always a display purpose. The first column always display purpose. So within the data model, if you want to add a display purpose more than one column, there is no way, only you may use a concat symbol team. Use the concat symbol and try to add, more than one column. Say this is separator followed by vendor name. Does it reflecting? So this is your supplier stream, right? Followed by the vendor name. Try to view. It is passing supplier ID stream. And it is giving the name followed by number. The first value within the LOV is the display purpose, and the internally it will pass your vendor ID. So obviously, the underlying SQL statements, everything you need to be changed to get the result to accept this vendor ID. As of now, it's giving the data based on segment 1, right? Use vendor ID. It's a vendor ID. Okay. And the site LOV as well. Use vendor ID. The moment here it's not required your POZ suppliers table team. Directly we may get a vendor ID column. So for that you may add the condition. We will get the data, right? Pass source. Any sites? Yeah. 114. Okay, we need to change the date, right? The calendar is not accepting. So it want to be changed as immediate. Let's see. The changes is not affecting. Enter date is not range. Enter a date between 1/4 and 10/14, right? Just reopen the data model. So you are getting the results against your supply number stream. We are passing internal ID. Okay. Now just open the report team once. Try to open the report. You may see that parameters. See, the parameter gets populated and is trying to execute your layout team, right, to display the data. So the observation here, we are in open the report. We did not enter any values. By default, your report is executing team. But we need to be restricted to the end user to select the values. When they click on apply button, then only the report should be rendered right team. So for that, edit the report. Edit the report and the report properties here. By default, the report will be run automatically team at runtime. To disable this checkbox from general report properties, disable auto run checkbox, click on OK, and save the work and the view report team. Now I'm trying to change something and click on apply. It's wait until to enter the parameters. Now you may get the data, however you entered. Okay. This is about how to restrict the report at runtime using auto run. This is one of the important interview question team. This dependency parameter and the date parameter and this auto run. Without this, there is no BAP interview team. The dependency parameters, they will expect an answer, which is very, very spoon feeding team. Do not give a shortcuts, 2 parameters, 2 LOVs, map that. No. They will ask the question, how technically the dependency parameter getting the result. This is the help of enable refresh other parameter on change on your parent parameter property. Okay. So any doubts, team? The rest of we'll see tomorrow. Team, any doubts, any clarification for the day? Follow team.
Yes.
Yes.
Please be practice. Okay. Thanks, team. Have a nice day.
Thank you.